Salut, c'est Mathieu de Ludovox. Je suis aujourd'hui avec Dirk de Artana Games et il va nous présenter Tesla versus Edison. Alors, Tesla versus Edison, c'est un jeu de gestion et pour 2 à 5 joueurs. Et Dirk va nous en parler. Hi, Dirk.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. What about you? How is it going so far?
It's going very well. Very, very busy. It's been a wonderful convention.
Is it your first?
No, we've done GenCon a few times before.
Okay, so you're here with a new release that was on Kickstarter. So Tesla vs. Edison, a 2 to 5 players game. What can you tell us about it? What is it about?
So in Tesla versus Edison, you are playing as an investor, and you are teaming up with a famous inventor from the late 19th century United States, and together you're building an electric company. And so the two of you are hiring new employees, you're claiming electric projects on a map of the United States, you're investing in new technologies, you're engaged in a vicious war of propaganda against your opponents, and you're buying and selling each other's stocks on a dynamic stock market.
What type of game is it? Is it a worker placement game, or is it a management game, resource transformation?
We call it variable power worker placement. So the inventor that you participate with and the employees you hire all have their own unique ratings and abilities and way they behave in the game. And so you're using them to take the 4 actions in the game, but they all perform those actions very differently.
Okay, can you give us a bit more detail about this?
Of course. So if we come and look at the components, for example, with Thomas Edison as one of the inventors, he has a rating in invention, manufacturing, finance, and propaganda. Everyone has their own unique ratings, and additionally, the big inventors have a special ability. In Edison's case, he's enterprising, which gives him many financial benefits around and during the game. So the way that the actions work, if Thomas Edison is going to be the worker used to claim a project, because of his finance rating, he'll get a discount on that project. So you have to pay cash to get the project, and you'll pay less cash because of him. Then you move your stock price up because you took the project, and you claim it with one of your cubes. Very simple. If Thomas Edison is taking a technology action, here he's leveraging his invention and his manufacturing, and on the track there are different requirements to move up different technology levels. And you can have multiple of your employees collaborate if you want. So Edison alone can take many of these technologies himself. In other cases, in his case only one on the board, he would need some help in order to do it. Additionally, his dollar rating, the finance rating, would allow him to claim a patent when he's taking a project. That increases the stock price, and it forces opponents to pay him when they use his technology.
So Tesla is broke?
Tesla doesn't have a finance rating, so it's all very asymmetrical. They play very, very differently, all the different powers.
Okay.
So with a propaganda action, using the propaganda rating, and you're either changing the company fame track or the AC/DC track, each of which have different effects. And then finally, if you're buying and selling stocks on the stock market, his finance rating is used to get him discounts and benefits when he's doing that. So each of the actions is very quick, very simple, less than 30 seconds to resolve, but they're all intricately related to these different ratings and the performance of your inventor and the employees in your company.
Ultimately, what is the duration, the length of the game?
So it's a 2 to 5 player game. It's about 25 minutes per player. So you're going to be under an hour for a 2-player game, under 2 hours for a 5-player game.
Sure. So the game went out of Kickstarter, and what's your opinion on Kickstarter? Was it good for you? Did you have trouble? Was it a wonderful adventure with rainbows everywhere?
It was wonderful. We had great backers. You know, we were privileged to do over 200,000 in our U.S. Kickstarter campaign. Running in parallel were a German and an Italian Kickstarter campaign, and those were very successful as well. So the game was super duper out of the gate. We're in the first day of GenCon. We've already sold through half of our allotment here. That's going to sell out. We've just been very blessed from Kickstarter to retail, how all of this is going.
Great. And how did you come up with the idea? You have another game shown right behind me, which is called The New Science. Are you fond of science?
Not particularly. I'm interested in history, and I'm someone who, whenever I read a book, by the time I'm done with the book, I have a game designed in my head that correlates to the book that I've just read. I read a book on this topic. At the time, I said it's probably not a marketable topic. I'm just going to put it on the shelf. And then the Oatmeal did some things around Nikola Tesla that made him very popular, made him a pop culture icon. And I said, okay, this gives me the marketing opportunity to take my game idea and bring it to market.
Okay, what are you working on at the moment?
So for future projects, our next game is called Corrupted Kingdoms, working with a designer named Ray Chandler on that. In that game, you are in control of an infernal corporation of monsters, and you're infiltrating the fair senate of the realm, run by the dwarves and the elves and the humans, and you're pushing through horrible, nonsensical agendas of legislation in order to get money kickbacks from your backers, and then waste that money on extravagant, unnecessary goods. And whoever gets the most of these extravagant, unnecessary goods at the end wins the game. So it's a fantasy theme overtly, but I think you can pretty quickly connect the dots to the statement we're trying to make about the world in general.
It was also on the watch list that we have.
Yeah, that's right. The other thing I'm working on is with designer Rob Davio. We're working on a series of games called the Chronicles series, and it's a take on Civilization, like if you know Civilization games, where we're breaking it into 5 different boxes using a new approach called the ecosystem. So you'll play a game in the ancient times in the first box, and you'll carry forward artifacts from that into the second game. And so you're going to create this entire 5-year arc of a civilization with never before in tabletop games seen persistence of memory, meaning, impact. It's going to be really, really cool.
I'm really excited and impatient about that. It sounds really great.
Thank you. We're excited about it as well.
Well, thank you for this overview of Tesla versus Edison, and thank you for your time for this interview.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
À bientôt sur Ludovox. Salut.